Now, for anyone who doesn't know, the Amazons were a mythical tribe who, at the very least, were ruled by women, or, according to some of the more extreme sources, banned men from their land, and in order to keep up their population, they would have sex with men from the neighbouring tribes. Now, it's of course a myth, but there could be some truth behind the myth. Well, I should elaborate a little bit. I'm not saying that they existed as such, I'm just saying that the Amazons were closely connected to the Scythians, who probably migrated out of Central Asia, and a lot of the women who migrated out of Central Asia had a very dominant role in society. For instance, the Scythians, they buried women, some women, in armour, so you could probably assume that women fought in their wars. Otherwise, there were some nations who too probably migrated out of Central Asia. Now, Herodotus believed that they were the descendants of the Amazons, and he also said that they rode horses, threw javelins, and went to war. And he also said that a woman could only lose her virginity if she had killed 3 men, but of course take all this stuff with a pinch of salt. Then, around a millennium and a half later, Carpini travelled to Central Asia, and the situation hadn't changed a great deal. He said that the women rode horses and fired arrows as skillfully as the men, and said it was the woman's job to drive carts and repair them, and make everything out of leather and make the clothes and stuff like that. Plus, in Eastern Europe around the 14th and 15th century, the Lipka Tartars arrived. Now, these were Muslims, it was after the Islamification of Central Asia, but they didn't follow many Muslim traditions. Notably, the women had a far higher place in society. They didn't have to wear the niqab, for instance, and they were never circumcised. But going to the other side of the world, in China, in the 8th century, well, Western China I should say, documents reveal that about 30% of Central Asian households were run by women. Now, there could be a couple theories behind this. For instance, men were away on business, or men were away at war, or they could also be sort of lying about being head of the household because they paid less tax. But either way, the Chinese thought it was strange and dubbed these women big women. Now, I know this doesn't prove the Amazons existed. I'm not trying to claim that they did. I'm just saying that women had a high place in society, in Central Asia in particular. Well, a higher place in society in Central Asia. And I think this is where the myth comes from, and I don't think you should poo-poo the myth because they exaggerated a bit. After all, I did a video about the Taiwanese Aborigines, and the mainland Chinese used to say that the Taiwanese were a kingdom run by women, which of course wasn't true. They just had a higher place in society.